after Peace Walker. How long, I can't remember exactly. But as many of you may know, Ground Zeroes is pathetically small. I won't go horribly into detail like I don't like to do for the Metal Gear reviews, but in Ground Zeroes, you have one area, and I'm not counting any of the other missions, just storyline-wise, because that's what I play these games for. You have one area, one mission. If you know what you're doing, you could be in and out in like 15 minutes and be done. And the game goes for like $30. Granted, you're getting, other missions like the Deja Vu mission for PlayStation 3, and on Xbox you get a Raiden mission. The game switched up the gameplay a bit. Solid 4, you can crouch walk and crawl. And this one is really just a lot more smooth, which I actually like the gameplay of this game. The Fox engine is alright. Honestly, I still kind of prefer how 3 handles, but it played alright. It was fine. But the story was lacking, partly because, there were 2 cutscenes and then game over. But some people say that they did this to ease us into what the Fox engine could do. But they could have done it cheaper. It was $30 for a 15-minute game. Which I know many wouldn't view as reasonable. Also, just to make a note of it, series voice actor David Hayter no longer voices Big Boss. Yeah, now it's Kiefer Sutherland, which I don't have anything against Kiefer Sutherland, or Keither Sutherland, I don't know. I don't have anything against him, but why? Big Boss and Solid Snake have both been voiced by David Hayter since the beginning of voice acting. No, you don't do it. You don't change it. But let's set Ground Zeroes over there, and oh boy, Solid 5, the Phantom Bane. Ugh. Let's read the back here. All for revenge. 9 years after the fall of Mother Base, legendary hero Snake wakes from a coma. Together with Ocelot and Miller, he must rebuild Mother Base and establish a new armed force, Diamond Dogs. Only then will he have his revenge on Cypher. The Phantom Bane brings an explosive conclusion to the Metal Gear Solid 5 experience. Not really. Well, okay, actually, I can agree that it brings an explosive conclusion to the Metal Gear Solid 5 experience, but let's face it, Metal Gear Solid 5 wasn't all that much of an experience to begin with. You had 15 minutes of gameplay. And I'm gonna try to stay calm and ASMR-y, but I don't like this game, and I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to keep my cool. I'm gonna stay whispering. I'm not gonna break out and shout, partly because I can't. My grandparents are sleeping. This game, as it said, takes place 9 years after Ground Zeroes. Now, I will spoil in Ground Zeroes. I'm not going to spoil where or how or what, but a bomb goes off, and Big Boss gets in a coma, I think. After he wakes up from the coma, the first mission is to go find your old comrade, Benedict Kazuhira Miller. This leads into my first issue with the first mission, the game is now suddenly open world. Why? It really doesn't do anything. And some of you may be saying, well, didn't you say that Xenoblade Chronicles X was one of your favorite games of all time? Well, Xenoblade Chronicles X is probably going to be on that list, though. Yes, it is. And if I didn't say that, then I'm sorry, and I'm an idiot. But, one, Metal Gear's never been open world before. And two, there's nothing to do in this world. The reason why games like Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X work is because they have stuff to do. You're always finding new landmarks, you're fighting enemies, you're exploring, you're getting stuff. There's absolutely nothing to do in this game except for maybe find a plant and run to your next mission. Yeah, there are designated areas, but take those out. That's another thing that bugs me. Why missions? Granted, Peace Walker had these too, but Peace Walker was also largely optional. This game, certain story missions require certain items. The Mother Base thing is back from Peace Walker, and the development stuff is. You need your stuff to be at certain levels in order to develop certain things. You need certain things for certain story missions. Which means if you don't have a high enough level, you're almost forced to go out free roam or do side missions in order to get the levels high enough. Which I don't like. Especially because I find myself constantly going back and forth to the ACC, basically my helicopter, so that I can get to places faster. Because of the open world, I find it extremely difficult to sneak in this game. Unless I use the helicopter. Because if I don't use the helicopter, I'm running. And if I'm running, the guards see me almost instantly. And I'm not gonna crawl or slowly walk to each destination. That'll take frickin' forever. And I'm sorry, but I can only listen to Rebel yell so many times while walking to my destination. That is one redeeming factor, is that it has songs like Rebel Yell and Take On Me. That's a bonus. That helps me ease some pain. The Phantom, I'm sorry. Another problem is, let's face it, Metal Gear is not necessarily known for its gameplay. Now, its gameplay has always been darn good, and even when it wasn't, you still knew that at least you gotta go back to that good sneaking. Yeah, I may be able to have fun with the gameplay here, but the reason why Metal Gear was the cutscenes and the story. This game tries to introduce and go with story, but it fails. There are barely cutscenes, and to put it into perspective, Metal Gear Solid 1 back on the PlayStation 1 had about 4 hours of cutscenes. This, on the PS3 or PS4 if you want to get technical, is 4 hours of cutscenes. Where are the cutscenes comparatively? Solid 4 has almost 10 hours of cutscenes. Where did they all go? I'm not gonna get into complaints about quiet, because come on, I'm a 15-year-old boy, I'm not complaining about quiet. Not to mention, there have been other fan servicey characters anyways. Look at Eva. Like, come on. Yeah, sure, quiet is a little more, but this is not the first time Hideo Kojima has put in a fan servicey character like this. this game is one, why is it open world? And if it was open world, why is there nothing to do in your open world? You need to have stuff to do. My biggest complaint, though, and the reason I don't like this game is that it fails so hard to be what Metal Gear is. And what Metal Gear is an amazingly well thought out and well told story. This game tries, but it fails. It doesn't have enough cutscenes, and it doesn't tell its story until it's over. Like, it ends before multiple plot lines are finished, before somebody mentions it. Yes, I know that this game is not completed, but I'm not judging it on what Konami or Kojima or whoever intended it to be. I'm judging it on what I paid $50 for. What I paid $50 for was disappointing to me as a Metal Gear fan. I wanted, a ton of exposition explaining everything to me. This game is unnecessary in my opinion. But if they were going to make it, they should have elaborated on things. And they didn't. Kojima, admittedly, isn't to blame. Kojima actually had some pretty interesting plot lines. But because Konami pulled the plug, he didn't get to finish them. Not to mention, he really tried to focus on the gameplay. And though I can have some fun with the gameplay, I ultimately play a Metal Gear game for the story. The gameplay comes second hand in Metal Gear. The gameplay has always been good, but I wouldn't even rate this above Metal Gear Solid 3, gameplay-wise. This is easily my least favorite game in the entire franchise, which is really disappointing because after this Konami kicked Kojima to the curb, and we may not be able to see another Metal Gear game, which makes me really sad. But ultimately, Solid 5 is just disappointing to me. Its open world fails to be an open world that I want to run in. Really, that's all you're doing, running and listening to music. You can drive cars and ride around on your horse, but ultimately that's if you want to risk getting caught by a random stray guard. The story, though leads into some interesting plot lines, doesn't actually go anywhere. And the lack of cutscenes is disappointing, because when I play a Metal Gear game, I want to watch cutscenes to have all my answers, or all my questions answered. This game really doesn't answer anything. It makes questions, and it doesn't do anything with them. I'm disappointed to say that about this game, but ultimately, this is the weakest link in the entire franchise. But if you play it chronologically, it's not the last game, thankfully. I'm sorry if anybody enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 5, more power to you. But me, as a Metal Gear fan since probably 4 or 5 years old, yeah, that young, it disappoints me, and it pains me to say that, but it truly, honestly does. Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. I want to apologize before ending it that this took a little bit longer to do. I was going to do this the day before, but I started a daily vlog channel, which if anybody wants, I'll leave in the description. But I started that. by the time I got that all edited together, it was too late and I wasn't going to record a review. So I'm sorry, but here it is and I hope you enjoyed. Everybody, have a wonderful night.